so much for watching all of my videos so far. I hope you guys have enjoyed it so far, at least. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of take a second to, sit down and talk about why I made this piece and what it was about and, how it affects me personally. So I guess basically the start of the project kind of came about when my professor had given us a topic of using, something found, something that you made, and then something that wasn't necessarily something, you know what I mean? Something like a sound or something like light or a feeling or something of that kind of sort, So I kind of took that and I really wanted to talk about my personal struggles with my mental health, just because this was such an open-ended, topic for my piece. And yeah, so I kind of just wanted to take a second and do all of that and talk about the fact that I am not one of those people who voices how I feel about those kinds of things all the time. So, I don't like to, I don't really like to say, oh, well, it's just my anxiety, or, oh, well, that's just how it is. You know what I mean? I'm definitely one of those people that, I see that I have this problem and I see that this is how my life is going to go. And I kind of try to do what I can with it. You know what I mean? I try to make it into something better than just, oh, well, that's just how it is. So I've always been told that I'm one of those people that I, especially in high school when I was first diagnosed with all of this, that I was kind of the person that, I was always happy and I was always, bright and shiny and, I always had a good personality and I always had a good attitude on life and I always had all these kinds of things that, you should have as a happy person, I guess. But, there was just a few months of high school when I first got diagnosed with all of this that, when all of my friends were kind of like, oh, like, what's wrong? Like, are you okay? Like, is something wrong? And I'm like, yeah, no, like, I'm fine. Like, really nothing's happening. Like, nothing's going on. Like, I'm, my family's okay. My health is okay. My everything was okay. But there was just days where I would not be able to get out of bed because I was already having a panic attack as soon as I woke up. And it was one of the most difficult things that I've had to deal with in my life because of the fact that I didn't know what was happening. And it was just a weird feeling to not go to, like I always used to go to school and I always used to be so happy and I always used to, make other people feel better. And then when I was in that position, people didn't really know how to react because they were like, oh my gosh, like something's really, really wrong. And so I would go to school and I remember one time when we were in church and some kid was just like tapping his foot and would not stop tapping and I lost it. And looking back on it, like it's so stupid that that's like what set me off, but just the day that I was already having is like basically how that went. And I don't know, I couldn't deal with it in a way that I knew how to deal with it. So it was just a very big struggle. But yeah, like even somebody would just come up and talk to me and be like, hey, are you okay? Like you haven't really been yourself lately. And I would just burst into tears. And obviously that was 4 years ago now, 3 years ago, but I don't know, that's something that still, like I still think about all the time and I still, have to deal with all of that on a daily basis of, the inner anxieties and the inner, thoughts that I have of like, oh my gosh, like, for instance, I just got a C in one of my classes and that is the lowest grade I have ever gotten. Like literally on the exam, I got like a 40% and you know what I mean? Like this is something that like I'm not normally used to dealing with, but like, and I, had a little episode about it and I had my own little, oh my gosh, like I'm failing, like I'm such a failure, like I, those kinds of things, but like I am fine, you know what I mean? Like my GPA is still perfectly fine. And, oh my gosh, like I've got to retake that class, like it's going to tank my GPA, it's going to be awful, like I don't want to have to retake it, but I'm going to have to, like blah, blah, blah. And I'm not going to retake it because like after sitting down and calming down and thinking about it, like it literally affected my GPA by a 0.03 like points. Like it's not a big deal. But yeah, so just dealing with those kinds of mental health things, like on a daily basis, is something that I know that not everybody has to deal with, but it's something that a lot of people deal with, and they don't tell anybody else about it, or nobody else knows that that's a thing, or people just don't know that you have this kind of inner conflict because of the way that you project yourself on the outside. So that was basically how this is going to go, is that was my representation of that, and just the fact that, you know, on the outside my world seems nice and shiny and bright and colorful and beautiful, and it, you know, reflects on everybody else because of my, you know, positive attitude every day. But, you know, on the inside of my personal umbrella, it's raining and there's a storm, and sometimes you just can't always see it, and it's not the typical rain cloud that, you know, some people get. That sometimes it's more dramatic than that, and it's more it's just more than that. And, you know, everybody gets sad every once in a while, but there's a different kind of anxiety and depression when you have to deal with it on a daily basis. So yeah, that's basically what my piece was about. Is just like my anxiety and like my depression and the stuff that like I, you know, think on a daily basis, and, you know, how other people see me, and how, you know, somebody's outer representation and the way that they reflect onto others can be a complete 180 from what's on the inside. So yeah, that's basically it. I really didn't have too much other thoughts behind that. I really ended up liking the way that the raindrops on the inside ended up also like reflecting the colors and stuff that were shined like on it from, you know, the umbrella. So I think that also kind of creates this, you know, even these little baby raindrops that, you know, you think make up your entire storm, like really aren't that bad. You know what I mean? So like the fact that my exam in my class, like, because that was one big thing, or like, you know, I forgot to do an assignment for one of my classes, and it dropped my grade in my class from an A to a B plus, and then I had to beg my professor to give me an A minus. You know, that's not that bad of an issue, and really one assignment shouldn't mess up my entire mental health, but it kind of did for a minute. So, you know what I mean? Just that fact that, you know, that one raindrop isn't really that big of a deal, but it reflects upon the other ones, and it just makes everything such a much bigger deal. So yeah, and this semester has been kind of a weird, funky one, just because of the fact that, like, I really haven't had anything dramatic going on, or I haven't had anything dramatic, like, you know, bam, this is the reason why I'm stressed out this semester. It's really just honestly like a bunch of little things. So I'm glad that this semester's over. I'm glad that the final project that I did worked out as well as it did. And I'm glad that I got such positive feedback from it, and it made me really happy to see that other people kind of got that same message, and they kind of got that same feeling, and just the piece itself just made other people like light up. And the fact that, like, seeing all the rest of my classmates and stuff like that in the critique, like looking at it and, you know, standing under it and like looking at all the raindrops and like looking at all the colors and like really just being a part of the piece is like really what I wanted. I wanted people to be able to interact with it, and I wanted people to be able to stand under it and like touch everything, and, you know, be able to see how the raindrops were made, and like see all of the little individual parts and pieces and bits to it. So yeah, I really like the way that it came out, and I know that sounds stupid because an artist should always like be proud of their work, but like that's one of the ones lately that like I have really been really fucking proud of. And I know that I know that I want to display it somewhere, but I don't have the room in my house, and it's currently sitting in the trunk of my car. And I feel so bad about it, but you know what? maybe someday somebody will pick it up and somebody will want to display it again. Yeah. Yeah, that's just a little open dialogue about that. That's really all it is. But thank you guys so much again for watching, and thank you for, admiring the piece as much as I love it, and thank you for, watching my channel and supporting me and supporting my art. And I really want to be able to make more things like this and to make more, open dialogues about, about life, or about, the way that my anxiety affected me today, or, something like that, without being super cliche about it. So this was a good way to kind of incorporate that into my work. But thank you guys again. Make sure to subscribe and like and comment and all of that right down below. If you guys do have any comments or critiques or anything from me on my piece, I'm always looking to improve myself and improve my artwork. So yeah, if you guys have any suggestions on that, or if you want to buy it, you can have it. I got my use out of it, and I made it to be able to have other people enjoy it. So yeah, that's pretty much it. But again, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next one.